Hi guys, and welcome to another video. This one is kind of going to be like a progress report. I would say I really just wanted to update you guys on how the plants that I imported in September, or acquired I should say in September, are doing. They are living in my dusty, crusty garden that I no longer frequent 24/7. You all know I have moved and I really only am here twice a week now. But I wanted you all to see how those imports are doing so you can assess for yourself, if there's any credibility in my methods and, if it is really useful and if this channel is a viable resource for content that's relevant to caring and troubleshooting for plants. So I really hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to hearing back from you guys. So let's jump into some timelines. I placed my order on August 26th, and here I am on Monday, the 10th of September, collecting them. Now, I am actually a day late in terms of when it landed, so it really came in, I would say, in 9 days rather than 10 days. And I immediately jumped into rehab mode as they were all brought in wrapped in sphagnum moss. So at this time, I'm now sorting them and getting ready to prep them and treat any issues that they may have come in with. Give them a good check over, check for pests, check the root health, and just do any sort of general cleaning up. Here I am inspecting everything and just getting my clear bin ready to ensure that I could create a humidity chamber. Generally, I found all the plants came in great condition. I didn't see anything worth noting that would probably prevent me from being able to save the plant if it needed some sort of critical rehabbing. Everything looked pretty good. They were pretty sizable, as you can see here. This is the Philodendron esmeraldens. So I'm just going through each one here. This one, the Columbia, actually shipped the worst. I would say it's pretty floppy, pretty dehydrated. That leaf got ripped. So it seems like all of them are able to fit in this humidity chamber, which is really just a clear bin that I got from PriceSmart again. I think it was like $130, if I remember correctly. So immediately I'm going to check the roots and start rehydration. Okay, so now that you're all caught up on which plants we're going to be dealing with, I am just going to reiterate that it has been a little over a month, I would say 6 weeks, that these plants have been in my care. If you missed the original import video where I went through all the steps I took to rehab them and, well, now acclimate them, I will link that video in the description. So we're going to move on. First up is my Anthurium magnificum silver. I put a little inset photo of what it looked like when I received it, and to be quite honest, it shipped the best out of all the plants, but over this 6 week period, it gave me a new leaf, as you can see here, and it dropped none of its original leaves. I was even shocked by this. So it lives exactly where you saw it before, below my Monstera, receiving bright indirect light. And there is minimal yellowing, minimal amount of blemishing. This leaf got a bit of yellowing on the edges, but that was it. This new leaf emerging signals so much to me with respect to giving me that confidence that I need to continue to care for it. I'm going to leave it in the location that it currently is in and just continue to do what I'm doing. Moving right along to my Philodendron esmeraldens, that has also given me a new leaf. The inset photo is what it originally looked like when I got it, and again, I am so thrilled to know that the action that I took was sufficient to keep this one happy. I did get a couple blemishes. If you look closely, you'll see these orange or yellow spots on a couple of the leaves. That could be edema, but it can also be trauma or maybe a bit of fungal infection, but nothing that, is throwing me off my game. I feel super confident as well and really happy that this one is happy as well and, performing. I really want to get it on a pole next to start the process of sizing it up. And again, I'll do another update video later on. Third on the list is my Philodendron Columbia. Just so that we understand conditions, all of these plants are living under this massive tree. It is completely shaded. However, you can see those open gaps where light filters through, just to give you an idea of what type of light situation they are in, as well as humidity. They are all grouped together. So, it receives, I would say, at least 60% humidity. This is a flashback of what it looked like when I got it around September 10th. It was completely floppy and the roots were a disaster, as you can see here. So even though this one has not given me a new leaf, I am super pleased with the progress. I did not lose the original leaf, first of all, and it is well hydrated, as you can see here. This node has actually activated, I would say. So even though it hasn't given me a new leaf, I know that one is on the way. Next up is my favorite of them all, believe it or not. The inset picture shows what it came in looking like. It didn't come in bad at all. It was really just dehydrated now in hindsight. There were two plants wrapped in moss that I received, and both of them made it. I'm so excited to report that there were actually three new leaves. You can't really see it in this lighting, but the newer leaves are the smaller ones. They are lighter or a little brighter green in color. They are narrower, but both plants gave me new leaves and they live right opposite my Philodendron Columbia next to my Picasso Peace Lily. Adjacent to it was this anthurium. The new leaf totally distracted me while filming, and I grabbed the tag to see what it was, and the name had washed off. Sadly, it has been here for quite some time, and I believe it is quite root bound because I couldn't even get the tag back into the pot. This is me poking around trying to figure out, where it would fit in. But after some digging, I realized it was my Anthurium magnificum by Ace of Spades. So the purple sword plant lives just below it, I would say. This is the second to last plant from this batch. It's my Spathiphyllum Ivan Portier. Now it developed crown rot, and if you look closely, you'll see the base of the leaves are yellowing. I'm not sure if I'm going to lose them, but being a spathiphyllum, I figured it would love regular peace lily conditions. However, I believe the place or the spot that I put it in, the humidity remained at, I would say, 80 to 90% for too long, and it developed a crown rot. So I placed it close to where my other peace lilies were, but to the back. I have now moved it to the forefront where it would receive more or less 60% humidity. I'm hoping that the rotting will stop and it'll be able to catch itself and push out some new leaves for me. In the next frame right here, you will see how much fuller the bouquet was, and well, that is no longer. So I'm hoping to restore it to its original beauty. Lastly, from this batch of imports was my Amedrium Spider-Man. This is it fresh out of the box, and this is it today. It has grown a bunch, not so much in height, but definitely in width. It has rooted nicely. It is pretty firm in that pot, and the leaves are well hydrated. I had mentioned in that original video that you need to place the runner, or in my experience, when you place the runner onto a pole immediately, you receive or new leaves grow a lot faster than if it was not mounted. And the research really did indicate that. It lives right next to my Amedrium medium silver, of which I tested that notion of ensuring that the runner is on a pole immediately so that the internode spacing is pretty small, and it definitely worked for that one. So I didn't hesitate with my Spider-Man. I made sure to put it on a plank. On another note, I didn't lose any of the original leaves on this one. However, they did grow in size. So even though I didn't get any new leaves, I know just from my experience with my Amidria medium silver that this plant tends to spend a lot more time focusing on establishing itself onto a pole as well as rooting before new leaves come. So the gain in size to me is the indicator to just give it some more time and that it is establishing. So I'm looking forward to great results here. The next few plants to follow, I received them around the same time of my import, and I included it in that video as they were new plants being added to my collection as well. And I am so excited to report that I actually got a new leaf on this hybrid that I got from the plant lover, and another one is on the way. It's my Anthurium Brielle by Bessie hybrid. This was back when I got it on September 10th, and I just wanted to kind of put things into perspective and explain that it was grown from seed locally. So it is well adapted or well acclimated to our conditions here in Trinidad, and all I basically had to do was make an intelligent guess as to where would be a good home for it to maintain its existing health, I should say. So I was able to do so fortunately, and it gave me a new leaf that has now hardened off. However, it did get attacked by spider mites, as you can see the spider mite damage there, but it is still thriving and I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it sizing up. Next, I also received my Syngonium or variegated Syngonium chia pens. Now, I did receive a new leaf. It is a lot larger than the ones before. However, there is no variegation on it. Sad to say. I'm hoping this will change in the future. I'm happy that it is alive and it did give me a new leaf, don't get me wrong, and it is sizing up. But I was really looking forward to a lot more variegation as it is a variegate. So I'm going to have to keep a close eye on this one to see if I'm going to have to prop it and try and restore the variation or if it will return on its own. This was when I originally got it. It was pretty tiny, only two leaves, but the variation was existing, I should say. So I'm really hoping that it comes back. It did grow in size, and that's satisfactory for me, yes. But I really want to ensure that the variegation comes back. What I intend to do is to treat it with silica, and if that doesn't work, I will prop it. Another that I got locally at that time was my variegated money tree. As you could see here, it was sizable upon collection, and this is it today. It gave me one new leaf so far, and it really is starting to look like a little tree. Look at it. This is my new leaf. The variegation is on point. I did not report it or do anything. Again, I just had to make an intelligent guess as to where it would thrive, and I'm so happy I got lucky. I would say that I found a happy space for it, and it is performing. It is absolutely breathtaking. As you can see here, I didn't have much troubleshooting to do with it. I'm going to show you where I placed it. It actually lives opposite the import plants, and it receives bright light throughout the day right underneath this pomerac tree. That's the new leaf. And last but not least was my blue oil fern. This was the day I received it. I couldn't believe how blue it was and how full and massive I would say for a fern it is. And this is it today. I mean, it's still alive. I do have some browning tips, but more so I want to focus on the abundance of new growth. Again, all I had to do was make an intelligent guess as to where to place it. Well, I shouldn't say it was all my doing. Avi from the Succulent Source really guided me properly so that I was able to choose wisely where I was placing it. So I'm happy to report a lot of new growth. It lives against the western wall on the property below all these plants that you're going to see here on this shelving unit. It is on the fourth level down, so light does come through. As you can see on the wall, you can see light coming through, but there is no direct light reaching it. It is possible that it receives some east-facing light also, but it is pretty dim down there. Okay, and that wraps up this video. Thank you so much if you are still here and if you stuck it out. Just a point to note, if you missed that import video where I explained and I demonstrated every single step that I took along the way of trying to acclimate the plants and hydrate them, everything that I did to get them where they are today, I will link that video in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram. Please like and subscribe. It really lets me know what you guys are enjoying or what your thoughts are so that I can continue to make videos that are relevant. So thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.